Welcome back to World Art Day. I hope you guys are having an amazing time watching all the events that are going on today. So now I have here with me is Kelly J Powell. She is a poet native to Long Island and a graduate of SUNY Binghamton's Creative Writing Art program in 1988. She has performed widely on Long Island and in New York City. She has a new book of poems called Posthumously Yours by from Local Gems Press, available on Amazon. Thank you so much for being with us here today, Kelly. I'm so happy to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So when did you get into poetry? What started it? Yeah.
I'm sure it was some childhood trauma. That's usually where it comes from.
Yeah.
And then you try to make it better.
As you go on. What inspires you? What do you like?
Ordinary things.
Yeah.
I write a lot about laundry.
Okay. Yeah, you have a poem that says the Vitruvian man goes to the laundry palace.
He's about a friend of mine who's been writing poems in the laundromat.
Oh, okay.
So he was my inspiration.
Oh, okay.
And he's trying to bring culture to Rocky Point, which is out from my neck of the woods, single-handedly. But he's a good egg. So, but yeah, that was one of my laundry inspirations.
That's wonderful.
It's like a meditation, or they could be anything, dishes in the sink.
Yeah. So everyday life, things that are happening.
But related to larger things.
Okay.
Like representative as a metaphor, or, well, I don't have time to go to Japan.
Yeah.
A friend of mine went to Japan to write about shoes.
Okay.
So I said, I have shoes next to my bed.
Well, maybe the shoes are different in Japan.
Japan is lovely, but, I got to get kids on a bus.
Yeah. Is that inspiration from one of your poems?
Yes.
It is. What's the title of that poem?
It's shoes. I wrote about shoes. The shoes next to my bed. But they had a story. They told a story about a divorce. They weren't my shoes. They were my friends.
Okay.
A friend of mine's shoes.
Good. Did you start writing poetry in college at Binghamton?
No, I remember writing a poem at 5 years old and thinking, this is terrible. No, but I did study. My teacher was Milton Kessler.
Yeah.
Who they have an award there now for him. He died at 58, which is my age, suddenly.
Yeah.
A very passionate man, lived his life. I think he went to Yale or Harvard. And he started the program, which is now like 40 years in.
Wow, that's a long time.
35.
Was he your favorite teacher there?
Yes, he was my favorite teacher. He was just a big bear, very, very, very warm. Person.
Yeah.
And he knew his poetry, and he was just a very kind man.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't learn a lot of the technical parts. We had a grad student that gave you, the technical boring parts.
Yeah.
Form and
stanzas.
Right.
Punctuation.
It's when you can transcend those things and still use them.
Yeah.
I like the structure. Not everybody does. Some people like to be more free.
Mm-hmm.
I like to have tools in my toolbox.
Yeah.
I call it.
Well, that's nice.
It's you're painting with words more. Some people are musical more. Some people are visual more. It's nice to have a range.
Yeah.
And Carolyn was lovely this morning.
Yeah, she was great. She had a lot of wonderful poems to read from. She also draws inspiration from like just everyday life, her passions and stuff. Because she's passionate about her family in Italy and traveling and stuff like that. So it's really nice when you can write about something that you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Like shoes.
Yeah, exactly.
Every day with shoes. Almost there.
Yeah. Who's your favorite poet?
My favorite poet would be, I tried to put together a book of my inspirations because I've been asked this question. And Mary Oliver is big on my list.
Oh.
Marie Howe. Mark Doty, probably number one.
Yeah.
He's just a nice man. I had tons of connects with that. And they were all friends, Mark Doty and Marie Howe and Dorian Lau.
Oh, wow.
They're friends with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And the beat poets were a little raucous.
Yeah.
And Mark Doty and Marie Howe and Dorian Lowe, they're just lovely, as opposed to drunken madness, which has its place.
It has its place. I think everything has its place in poetry.
Right. A friend of mine says when she teaches the beats, the students get excited. So whatever makes people excited about poetry,
that's true,
is a plus.
How did you find your first time reading in front of an audience? What was that like?
I was terrified. I was 40.
Oh.
I hadn't really connected with other poets in the real world, I would say. I was a single mom. It's kind of full-time headspace, not just the time. But so I found people, which was like the most amazing part of it.
Yeah.
And people that read their work out loud. You could hear them live. No AI. It wasn't even a thought yet.
I know, right? AI has taken over our lives.
But it's just hearing someone say their words is just so different from seeing a video or a Zoom. Zoom is great because people that couldn't travel or handicapped, they can all come to readings now. But you never, the live gives you something. So yeah, it was nerve-wracking. I had never read a poem out loud, let alone to 30 people. It was an open mic. I wasn't asked.
Yeah.
And I was nervous. And a friend of mine was there, and she said, "Oh, you're still flipping papers?" And I'm like, "Really? 30 years later?"
Flipping papers? What's that about?
I was still shuffling papers.
Okay.
It was recent. And she called me on it. And I'm like, oh, good thing I have it. Keep me on task.
What did you do before you started doing poetry?
I've always been a bookkeeper. I just loved it as much as I like poetry.
Yeah.
Accounting is one of the most creative fields on the planet.
That's true.
But everything comes out even. I enjoy that.
Yeah.
I feel like a balance sheet is like karma. It's not exactly one-on-one. It moves a little bit. I wrote a poem about that.
What was it about? You wrote a poem about, what's the title?
About a balance. Oh, it's the first line is the title. That's I don't know all of it. Today I said a balance sheet to music.
A balance sheet to music. That's very poetic.
Yeah. Something ordinary, like I didn't think of, or not many people relate business to art. And it's very creative. Some people don't like it. It represents chaos, maybe. So they've...
Really?
I enjoy order myself.
Yeah. I wouldn't say that. I think there is some order to art and poetry for sure. So I feel like it's chaos, but it's beautiful chaos and it's structured chaos. It makes sense to us.
I'm drawn to form for that reason.
Yeah.
I will never master meter. I told my students, I said, "You guys do the meter. You're doing a sonnet. You're better than me already."
What form do you normally write in for your poetry?
I write in every form. A lot of forms have meter inside.
Yeah.
Can't do it. I'm not going to make myself upset about it, because stress is the thing that will take you.
Yeah.
It's all the other things combined, but the stress. So I don't stress about meter.
Yeah.
I said, I'm not going to master it in my lifetime. I'm not going to worry about it. Let that for other people.
Leave it for them.
And they're good at it. And so I just do it by intuitive, like by feel.
Yeah. That's important.
I like tercets a lot.
Okay.
3 lines. Seems like a good number.
Even. All the way through.
I like the way the enjambments fall on the page.
Yeah.
I like the visual. I'm a visual person.
Yeah.
The words are 100% important. Yes. But the visual, the formatting was wrong, and I posted to a site called poets.com, which is still there, I think, but it's 40 years ago, 30 years ago. And someone said, that's not a poem.
Really?
Because
Why?
the formatting jumps it all up to look like a paragraph.
Oh, okay. But there are some
So it's,
that are just paragraphs.
it is.
So
There's a whole school of people on that argument.
oh, they don't appreciate.
Whether the prose poem is actually a poem.
It is though.
It is. Everything's a poem.
Exactly.
Your jacket's a poem. Your shoes are a poem.
Your hair is a poem.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, by the way.
Thank you. And yours too.
Thank you. I see you have a book with you.
I do. It's out on Amazon. The posthumously yours is there too.
What's this one?
It's called The Wind Like a Scalpel, Healing My Wounded Heart.
When did you write this one?
It's been like 2 years on and off. And Amazon has a publishing. So I did it in the middle of the night one night.
Yeah. How many poems are it?
On this, there's about 30, 35 maybe.
It's lovely. When did you release this one?
It was a few weeks ago.
Really?
In the middle of the night, yeah.
Wow.
There's no page numbers. I have to fix that. That's what happens when you do it yourself.
True. So you'll be reading from Posthumously Yours today? Or
I actually brought a poem
okay.
that I timed because I know you guys have a time picture.
Yeah.
So it's over 4 minutes. Is that?
Yeah, that's okay.
Or should I do something shorter?
No, go ahead.
Okay.
Please.
So this was inspired by a friend of mine's relationship with his mother. It's very close to his mother.
Yeah.
And it's a dramatic monologue. So he's the speaker, is Alexander the Great.
Yeah.
So I've always felt for the young man. Died at 32. My voice is a little hoarse. I'm sorry.
No worries.
I have bronchitis and I getting a little Joni Mitchell-ish in her older days. So my part is the mother because I have a child. And so this is called The Letter Home. I don't know where to look to you.
Right there.
Over here?
Okay, yeah.
Letter home from Alexander the Great to his mother on the occasion of the spring solstice, 323 BC. My darling, dearest mother, is it time for me to return home? I have conquered the world as we know it, and I am homesick. I have never encountered anything as beautiful as our Aegean sunsets, or as satisfying as your homemade moussaka from your mother's recipe on a cold winter's night. My victory over the Persian king was a hollow one. Intrigue from his closest friend killed him from behind before my troops reached him, making it a hollow victory. I am weary from battle and from being pharaoh. All these accolades and week-long wedding celebrations are meaningless without your warm kiss on my forehead after a job well done, or Aristotle's bad in-jokes, or even father's tirades about Macedonian tax structure. I've been writing a song about loving an ordinary woman who lived across the street. My Roxana cannot hold a candle to her, though I loved my wife at first sight. You must never tell her about the other one. You must protect her and my son as best you can when I have gone. I once left a white rose on this woman's doorstep, and I never even learned her name, lest I succumb to a mortal life of hard, honest work, without treachery or intrigue. As simple as birdsong, even with its grueling hardship, for what is there left to conquer? Once you have conquered everything. How I miss the familiar and routine of the marketplace, how I would have preferred to cast my net with fishermen, knowing that we all meet the same fate, that it will only matter that we were loved. Mother, please, I have seen my destiny, and my coin is at the ready for Charon's ride for quite some time now. Let me come home, I beg you, one last time to hear the sparrow nesting on the side porch, the fire in the hearth, and the heroes resting among the stars as you see them now from your window. The daffodils are just coming to life, fooled by our warming climate, the snowy owl calling for his mate. Let me take my inglorious end as an old man, reveling in his remembering of glory and passion. Me, this will not be my fate. Foretold like an ancient map, trod on Egyptian papyrus in an oracle's temple. Would that I could die in my sleep with my children and grandchildren gathered round me, kissing their heads, one after another, in warm embrace, leaving peacefully as a lamb. But it is written, I am to die alone. This love of fate weighs on me, and the memory of your face comforts me. My thoughts have turned melancholy, and seeing you would cheer me in an indescribable way. This is not how our story will be told.
That was lovely. Thank you so much, Kelly, for joining us today. Guys, please stay tuned for more World Art Day events. Thank you.